Hey, good morning, good morning, people. Yes, good morning. Let me make this screen bigger. Good morning, people. Good morning. Wow. Yes, good morning. Yeah, that you're looking outside my window. What a wonderful evening it is. How you all doing? How are you all doing? I'm doing okay here. Yeah. This is Spirit Journey. And today's Sunday, early Sunday morning. It is July 20th, 2025, and it's about it's approaching 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you hear a little doggy in the background. Yeah, I'm doing okay this morning. Yeah, I have a lot on my mind. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about some things, but a prelude, what I'm going to talk about. Yeah, yeah, little Lavi. Yeah, Lavi is, yeah, maybe he just ate too much. Hey, Chamber, oh, how you doing? Hey, I'm glad that you're doing well. Yeah, yes, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, all the way from Rwanda. Yeah, where you are from? Where are you watching this video from? Yeah, what country, what state, or whatever? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just have a lot of feelings right now. A lot of things I want to talk about. There's an update on my dog, little Lavy, Lavender, my Pekingese boy. He's 12 and a half years old. Yeah, he had tests done. Maybe what is it now? I think going on 2 weeks. Yeah, he doesn't have any blockage, but he was having GI upset, and he was just getting a GI upset again. Maybe he's eating too much or something. Yeah, he belches now, um, and his body shakes like tremors, and that concerns me. And his vision, like I was maybe 4 feet away from him, and I said, "Come here, Lavin, come," and he doesn't hear, and then I said it even louder. Even loud, yes, I know I do have a soft voice, but when I'm calling, to get his attention, I raise my voice. And then he's like looking around and I see he doesn't know where I am. And then he turns around and then he comes over. Yeah, it seems like his audio. Oh, USO, Florida. Nice, nice. Hello, Gwendolyn Chambers. Yes. Thank you for response. Thank you there. Yeah, and so um, his audio and or visual, yeah, both his eyes is starting to get cloudy, like inside the eyeball is starting to get cloudy. So maybe he's getting like a type of cataract or something like that. He could always find his food bowl and things like that, but I know something is wrong. And I just ask for your prayers for Lavi. Lavi's my only remaining dog. Yeah, if you would, those of you, if Tammy is out there, to give some prayers for him. I just don't want him to suffer. Um, yeah, he gets little like quivers in his body, like he's cold. He does that in his sleep or even when he's not sleep. But I notice a lot when he's sleep, lying down. Um, and to give me wisdom with his food choices. Um, I think was that now 3 weeks ago. Um, he had GI upset and he started bleeding again. and I have a feeling it was the meat. So I haven't given him red meat for this time. So please give me wisdom. He's not bleeding anymore, thank God. It was just that one day, and then I switched his diet. Gave him a plant-based diet, no red meat proteins, and the bleeding stopped immediately. But I did, you know, send him to the doctors as well. Just make sure what's going on. So they, they gave him an X-ray and contrast, and there was no blockage, whatever. And his blood, they said, is okay. So it just could just be he's a senior dog, but it always gets me worried. And so yes, definitely pray for him and pray for me too to um, be strong for him. I need to stay strong for my little boy, Lavender, my little 12 and a half year old fur baby, you know. And yeah, I want to be there for him. I need to get stronger emotionally, in handling things like this. So yeah, I appreciate any prayers for him. It's just mommy's worries, and to just accept, certain things. This is another life cycle, and it's a life cycle for all of us, not just me. Life cycle for all of us. And I think it's just a sign of the times. And oh, okay, Gwendolyn. Okay, our family dog is like that, she says. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, my little boy, doggy, is a Pekingese. And we arrived in Rwanda 1.5 years ago. And a month after arriving, I had 3 dogs at the time. My girls, 2 girls, and my little boy. My girls were 3 years older than him, and they succumbed to this bacterial infection that they contacted while they were in in a facility. And I thought it was going to be the bells and whistles of really nice place, but it is what it is, people. Um, and my little boy was younger, so he was really strong. But yeah, he's on steroids. Oh, that's so sweet, Gwendolyn. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, we all need to pray for one another. All of us. It's the signs of the time, and these are one of those things that we all have to face one day. And um, what I learned in all this in moving to Rwanda is that you cannot escape certain things. Certain things will follow you. Certain things you will have to, as an adult, face, and this is one of them. So either way, I want to talk about some other very interesting topics. And I think, everything's related. Everything is interconnected. I want to talk about something that I heard on the internet today. And yeah, thank you again, Gwendolyn. Yeah, I want to talk about, have you guys heard about the Jesus in the cloud? Yeah, Jesus in a cloud and the UFOs. I think they're both related. Yeah, a lot of things are happening in the world today. Some of it are legit and some of it questionable. Okay. Again, whatever what your faith is, your faith-based stuff, that is your business. Oh, where are you in Lavender from? Oh, okay, Gwendolyn. I am from New York City, born and raised in New York City. And I got my doggies when they were babies. Lavender, my current dog, surviving dog, he was 4 months old when I got him, and my girls were like 8 or 10 weeks old. And I've had them. I had my girls for 14 years. And my little boy, he's 12 and a half years old now. And yeah, so we all from America, New York City, and things were getting kind of tight in New York City for me. I felt it coming, people. I felt it coming. I noticed trends. I'm someone that um, studies, like, I'm very hypersensitive to change. Um, so I notice like trends and things that are happening in my environment, my physical environment, social changes. And I saw the writing on the wall, and I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. And we're all saying, people are all saying, get out of the big cities, get out of the big city. And I lived at that time, a year and a half ago, when I moved here to Rwanda. Um, yeah, I lived in the heart of New York City. I lived near, what do you call that? Times Square. Times Square is the middle of everything in this city, and a lot of craziness was happening, a lot of muggings. And since I've left a year and a half ago, I left New York City December 2nd, 2023. And then I briefly came back for 2.5 weeks, and then I left to come back to Rwanda. Yeah, I had an urgency that I had to handle and came back. And yeah, the writing on the wall had been telling me for quite some time, and other YouTubers have been telling me, get out of the cities. And they weren't kidding. Yeah, there's a lot of drama that was happening in Midtown Manhattan. And I had gotten physically attacked in 2021. And there were uh, two, two other attempts l- um, on my physical body. These two men, yeah, it was getting crazy. Yeah, my accent is from. Oh, you're from Brooklyn. Hey, hello, Brooklyn. You like Florida? You like Florida, girl? Yeah, yeah, Chambers. Very nice. Yeah, yeah, things were. Yeah, when did you move to Florida, Chambers? When did you move? Yeah, I felt I had to move. And I knew once I moved, I couldn't go back. Yeah, I was getting, I've told this before, and I will continue with my story. Sometimes I get distracted, but it's all good. It's all good. Um, I felt that, what's that? Um, yeah, New York City was going through changes, and yeah, people had to make a decision. I thought, yeah, I knew that once I moved, I had lucked out with this great apartment. I got a really nice high-rise apartment building in the heart of New York City, and it was great. I moved in there in 2003. And yeah, oh, how do you like Rwanda? I'm really grown to like it. The people here are very nice to me. Yeah, I want to talk about that too, probably. Yeah, I've been blessed recently. I met this couple almost exactly a year ago this month. And yeah, they come back and forth. They travel a lot. And I've been visiting them. They've been very good to me. The man is from America and the wife is from Congo. And it was the wife's birthday, and uh, I got a call to, hey, you want to go to, surprise birthday party for my wife? And I went. I had a nice time. It was a short celebration. We all live within, they live about a mile away from me. And it was very, very nice. And at the party there, I met another person, and she speaks English well. They lived in the state, and she has children that's living in America. And they came by yesterday. She came by with her husband yesterday, and they've been a blessing to me. They had when they came by, I have an orange tree, and I picked up some oranges from my tree. I didn't plant the tree was there before I arrived. But I picked some oranges from my tree in the garden, and I handed it to them, and then they sent their driver, and they blessed me with this perfect pineapple, and they gave me a pack of green bananas. And it's the green bananas that the type I love the short plump bananas. I call them plumpies. That yeah, I like to make up names. I named them plumpies. Oh, they look beautiful. And so I'm going to probably make some boil some green bananas. Yeah, green banana. Actually, when I looked on the internet once, and green bananas is the most widely, type of bananas that are eaten, not the yellow bananas. Yeah, that was a surprise to me. Many people around the world eat green bananas. You cook them, you boil them, and they're fantastic to eat. I like them better than potatoes, boiled potato. Yeah, so they gave me a whole bunch of it, and so I'm gonna be making some, boil some bananas, and it's nice. It's very nutritious, and it was a fantastic visit. They just came by. The husband and wife came by, and we sat at the gazebo, and I'm really blessed. Oh, and then they came back again with the driver. The driver came by, and they gave me that's right. When they came by the first time, the husband and wife, uh, the wife was saying, "Oh, because I told them I want to make peanut butter, and hey, and that I wanted to get something to grind the peanuts." So she said, "Oh, I got something at home. You probably be able to use it." And I said, "Oh, thank you," but not think they're gonna really send it. But yeah, she sent her driver, and they delivered the grinder. Wow, I can't wait to try it. It looks awesome. Yeah, it's these oh an ad a D a G a oh, I forget the name, something like that. Adi or AG. And so I can't wait to use it and see if I could make some peanut butter out of it. Yeah, it nuts, it's like seeds and things like that. Yeah, I have to see, like, there are three devices, I mean, three little containers, and they have different blades. One is like a wide base, the other one is a narrow base, and then one is a small cup. And the small cup one is for like seeds. I guess it's for like you making coffee grounds, grinding up coffee and things like that. Yeah. So that was really nice of them. So how is Rwanda for me? Rwanda is really turning out very nicely to me for me. Again, I did go through, I've been here a year and a half. Uh, and I've had some challenges, but overall, the people here in Rwanda are very, very, very good to me. The weather is absolutely beautiful. The landscape, what it's a land of a thousand hills. That's the logo for it. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here. The hills and the trees and all that. It's an agricultural place. Um, it's laid back, and it is what it is. It's an up and coming place. And what I can say with confidence, if you are a young person, let's say you're in your late 20s, 30s, maybe even early 40s, Rwanda is a great place for you if you want to start a business. Yes, I'm serious about that. And yeah, it's a lot of business opportunities here, and easy to start a business, a legal business here, if you want to start a business here. Yeah, Rwanda needs um, entrepreneurs. Rwanda needs you. Yeah, we need people. If you know, great retail. We need retail. We need more retail. Quality goods. If you someone who likes quality goods, you have access to get quality. To manufacture, or to a trade in for quality goods. Come here. We need your help. We need your help. We need people, innovators and things like that. Yeah, it's very progressive. It's really up and coming, Rwanda, and I'm glad I chose Rwanda. I did have my moments. One be I had my moments, and I still think at times. Um, I wherever where I decide to live long term, my dream is to buy land and build a little cottage or something. Live the simple life. I want to live off the grid, people. That is my dream, to live off the grid and to really get connected to Africa and its people. Yeah, Rwanda has been good to me. Uh, and again, uh, recently, I've been meeting people. Yeah, you can walk in the streets in Rwanda, and people say hello, good morning. They're really friendly. They're really nice. Um, yeah, but I would say like it just needs more like training the people. Some of the people they need, it's developing. It's a developing place. You have some people who are really advanced, um, but the bulk of the people are modest people, and they just need opportunity and training, education, training of skills and resources to be able. Let's say they want to start a business. Well, you need raw material. You need things to establish a business. Let's say you want to be someone who makes let's say a carpenter. You're going to need the tools to make tools of your trade. Let's say you want to be uh, a fancy chef or something. You need the tools of your trade. You need the tools of your trade, and you need quality goods. Let's say you want to be someone who makes ceramics. You need the material. You need the hardware to do it. Okay, yeah. Hey, Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Tammy. Hey, it's good to see you, Tammy. Nice. Yes. Yeah. I guess it's a good time for people to come on. But yeah, Rwanda is turning out to be a real blessing to me. And yeah, it's good to see you too, Tammy. Yeah, Rwanda is really turning out to be a great place for me emotionally. I'm still healing. I'm still healing inside, with everything that has been happening to me and my little doggy for the past year and a half. Um, but yeah, I'm becoming more comforted now. This past week, um, the people, the birthday party I went to, and the new people I met have been a blessing to me. Yeah, Tammy, I'm doing okay. Um, Lavender, yeah, Lavender had his test done. Yeah, Tammy is a wonderful person. Tammy has been a prayer warrior for me, for me and my little dog. And she and another person prayed on my behalf, and Lavender recovered. Yeah, Lavender's test results about 2 weeks ago came out okay. There's no blockage, and so maybe his GI upset. Maybe he's eating too much. Maybe it's fermenting in his belly and it's causing him GI upset. He was belching, and he spat up a little bit. You know. Also, his body is shaking, and his awareness. So again, it could be just he's just getting older. But like Tammy, you remember before I left to come to Rwanda, my dogs were excellent, and especially Lavender. Lavender was the man. He was strong. So yeah, your prayers for Lavender would be greatly appreciated, Tammy. God hears your prayers for me, and if you just pray for my little boy again. To give me wisdom, and I want to be there for him emotionally and physically. I get scared at times, Tammy. I do. I get scared. And so to pray that I'll be strong enough for him to be there emotionally for him and give me the wisdom what to feed him, what not to feed him. Just, to be a good mom for him and that lavender doesn't suffer, anything like that. Yeah. Let me see what the messages said. I saw some message. Okay, Tammy said, my family chanting and witchcraft and healing spells are working as always. Hey, that's right, Tammy. That's right. I appreciate all your prayers. All your prayers. All your prayers. Yeah. I appreciate that, Tammy. Yeah, Tammy's been around on my channel for quite a while now. Yeah, say hello to Tammy for me. Yeah. Oh, Gwen's question: do you feel safe? Yeah, I feel safe. I relatively feel safe. I say it like that because you have to use wisdom as women. But yeah, I can go outside and yeah, in daytime I can walk. I've walked all over, and people are friendly. They say hello. Sometimes, like in some little villages. Very, quaint village. I'm trying to be very tactful. Um, where, the economic fervency may be very small. And so you may have more instances of someone saying, give me money, things like that, little kids. But overall, the people are very nice. I feel safe walking in my neighborhood. Uh, yeah, it's nice. The people here are good. And to be a single female walking about where I live, I feel safe. Um, yeah, I feel very safe. There have been two moments since my stay here. There was an incident that happened. A man in the car was following me and acting the fool. And yeah, I ran away and I took a picture of the car. Uh, yeah, it was two incidences like that, two different people, but the MO was the same. They had a car and they, acting stupid. Yeah, but outside of that, pretty good. Yeah, the people, the gentlemen, the men here are gentlemen. Yeah, in general, the young, it's a very young society. Uh, Chambers, it's a lot of young people here. Yeah, the bulk of society in Rwanda are the young, very young. And they're very respectful to women. They're very respectful to women. I like that very much. Very respectful. Um, a woman could wear, here in Rwanda, in general, men and women dress very modest. It's very modest dress. They don't flaunt wealth or whatever in general. Um, yeah, and I haven't seen outside these two incidences with this man in a car. Um, they're very respectful to women, and I've never heard cat calls. Never heard that. Never heard cat calls. Nothing vulgar like that. Yeah, very respectful society, conservative society. They work. These are work. They get up early. They work. They get up with the sun, and they start their chores. You know, um, it's an agricultural society. They eat a lot of plant-based foods. Um, yeah, so it's been a blessing for me. Okay, Tammy is saying, I would do the Jen and healing spellcast for you and Lavender again, but this time I'll triple time it X's 3. Okay, times 3. I got you. Oh, Tammy, I appreciate it. Yeah, we all need prayers, and I appreciate that, Tammy. Yeah, I am who I am, and sometimes, Tammy, I can get a little scared sometimes for my little baby, and I yeah, I want to be there for him though. I don't want to run away mentally from what's happening. I have to be a strong mom. I have to be a strong mommy and be there for my little boy. And I need wisdom in handling whatever medical emergencies or how to feed him. And yeah, and Lavender, I don't want him to suffer and be in any pain. His eyes, he his I think he's going blind. I think he's going blind. And if you could pray for a healing of his eyes, I appreciate that, Tammy. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, Tammy's been around on my channel. Yeah, she's been watching my videos for years, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tammy. Yeah, I appreciate that. Namaste to you too. Okay, okay. Gwen is saying, yeah, it's nice, but very high. Okay, she said, I moved. Oh, wow, 30 years ago. I'm afraid to visit. I went to college in Manhattan. Oh my God, you went to Hunter also? I went to Hunter. I graduated from Hunter. Yeah, I graduated from Hunter with my undergraduate, and then I went to Brooklyn College and got my master's. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm afraid to visit. Oh, you're afraid to visit where? Rwanda or Africa? What do you mean when you say that? Just for understanding. Just want to understand what you say. Okay, yeah. How do you like Rwanda? Yeah, I like Rwanda. Okay, I thought. Okay, okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any messages. Sometimes I'm talking, I may not look on the screen uh, all the time. I'd be looking straight ahead and not at the screen, with the messages. Yeah. Wow. Oh, thank you so much. That really puts comfort to me. Okay, Tammy. Yeah, Tammy's saying I will see you later. Yes, yeah, everybody say hello and goodbye to Tammy. Peace, love, and blessings be unto you, Tammy. Yes, you live in safety also, Tammy. I pray the same for you and your loved ones. Thank you, Tammy. Peace, love, protection, wellness, and wealth to you, Tammy. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, so what I was gonna say, so I got off the track with everything. My apology. Yeah, I want to talk about this um, these sightings that people have been seeing, um, UFOs and the Jesus in the sky. Again, whatever what your faith system is your business, and it's what serves you. If whatever what your faith system does for you, if it serves you, you serve it. Okay. I think everything's related. The signs of the time, people are feeling what they're feeling very strongly. And yeah, I wanted to talk about I saw a video that this YouTuber shared and about these sightings and images in the sky. So, there was this video taken from the Philippines, and it was a church group in the Philippines, and it looks like a silhouette. The cloud had a weird shape, and it was like in a silhouette of a human being, like with a drape on, something draping the body. Yeah, and then there were other sightings in the sky. And yeah, there are scriptures in the New Testament about signs in the sky, right? They'll come in the clouds. I people I have questions about that. Okay. And again, I have to admit, I gotta, for full disclosure, I used to be a follower of the Bible, the Christian Bible, for most of my adult life. I would say from like age 21 to 50 something, I was a Christian. And I had a paradigm shift. I had a big paradigm shift. I think I was actually on the way of exploration. Um, it was 10 years ago, yeah, 10 years, 10 and a half years ago, I had a paradigm shift. A YouTuber shared a book. She's also from New York City, and she had her, her own spiritual walk. She used to be a Jehovah Witness, then she became a, a Hebrew Israelite, and she was exploring. And then she was doing homework, so to speak, and she discovered certain things about um, they were used to turn, I guess, Anunnaki, and she wrote a book, and she announced in, like, my birthday's in December, and she made an announcement in November, late November of 20, oh, what year was that? Oh, what year was that? 20, oh God, I don't want to forget. Oh, 2014, yeah, 2014, November 2014. She made an announcement that she has a book. And I knew that she was going to share something. I mean, even before she made the announcement, that whole year in 2014, when I was heavily watching this YouTuber, and I knew she was on a spiritual journey. She was sharing these spiritual things and saying that she says, if you want to open up your third eye, something about meditation, that you should meditate. And I never meditated before. And so I introduced to my life meditation, and then she shared about her book. And I read up to chapter 7, and I tried to do chapter 8, and I got shocked. And I had my paradigm shift, and it was very trying. But basically, I guess in a nutshell, with this, her book, I'll give the name of the person, because she wrote, it's a public book, anyone could get it on the Amazon. Her name is Vera, with the V as in Victor, Vera Courtenay, and the name of the book is Unmasking. Oh, what was that? Oh God. Oh, how could I forget the name? I'm sorry. Something about unmasking something. Well, I apologize. I don't remember the name. But you just go on the internet. Um, Her name is Vera Courtenay, and you'll have a book. You'll see a book. And it's a small book. It's not a large book, but she discusses her life experiences with regard to her faith, what happened to her, and then she shared her theory about that the Bible, her questioning about the Bible. What was the Bible really? And that began my questioning my faith in the Bible, but also, to be even more disclosing, is that 20, oh, what year was that? 20, December 2013 was my last day in church. And it was the last Sunday in 2013 was my last day in church. Um, I was going to like just a regular Protestant church, And I had questions with regard to my identity, my ethnic identity, my spirituality. And I, again, your faith is your faith. Okay, I'm not here to criticize what sustains you, but it's just my personal experience. I was searching people, and uh, I was searching for identity, spiritual identity. Uh, the traditional church wasn't serving me anymore. My mind was I had questions, and I come from, my background. I'm born and raised in America, but my grandparents came from the Caribbean, and um, racial diversity in my background. But I guess living in America, being born and raised in America, and being a veteran, I got to see things, and I didn't like the racial drama. And I was searching my African roots, and I I was curious about Africa and traditional West African belief systems, and the church I was going to. I felt as a so-called black person and having a white pastor. Now again, there was the head pastor was a white guy, but he had co-pastors you had a woman, you had different men of people of color. They were the nice people. They were nice people to me. They were nice people. I'm not attacking the guy, but I'm just saying where I was. It was an integrated church. It had different races. They were friendly. I was in a ministry. I did crocheting in the ministry, and but spiritually, I was starving, and I wanted more. I didn't want just a Sunday existence. I read my Bible daily. I believed in the Bible, but something was missing, and I wanted more. And if I'm a so-called black person, I wanted to find out about my African roots. I wanted to find out about their spirituality. I just felt I needed to be true to myself. Again, at that time in 2013, I was still a Christian, but I wanted to explore spirituality, not religion. And so I told myself the end of this year, the last Sunday in 2013 would be my last day at least in that church. And I'm going to explore Africanisms, And I would never have thought back then that I would actually move to Africa. I mean, I wasn't at that path yet, but I wanted to find out about African spirituality. And so, um, so during my time as a Christian, um, I lived in other parts of the world, and I had an opportunity to live in the Caribbean, the island of St. Thomas. It's heavily into religiosity, okay? Not spirituality, but religiosity. Churches are everywhere. Everybody plays church. And so I was a new Christian, relatively a new Christian back then. And that was 1990. 1990, I arrived there. And I was a Christian then, and but a newbie Christian because I wasn't in America back then. I mean, prior to 1990, um, I wasn't going to church. I mean, I had visited a church maybe a handful of time with a family member of mine because that person's significant other was a visiting church, and they invited me, and I came a few times. But when I entered the military, um, I was fellowshipping with these people on on the ship that I lived on who had a Bible study. And when I got out of the military and decided to move to the Caribbean, I continued with what you call the Bible study. You know, you go to church and, on Sunday, and then they might have a Bible study, and I went to them. Okay, so it was just a continuation. But early in my experience in religion, my active participation in the Christian church, again, I was new on that island and I had a dream. And I had a dream about Jesus. But it was different. And I know I've shared this dream before. It felt real. It looked real. It was everything was rich in color. I think rich in color. Like the dream world is in different dimensions too, people, in my opinion. Sometimes the dreams could be symbolism, and you know it's fake, but it's all symbols to share information to you. And then other times, it could be just a regular dream. And another time, it could be something like a lucid dream or a spiritual dream of religious nature, or I should say a spiritual nature. And that's what I had, a spiritual nature dream. Um, I was in a field, a grass field, like a meadow, a green meadow, looked like it's summertime. And I'm with a whole bunch of women, younger, like they look like the age of like the teens to early 20s. And they're wearing white dresses, like a linen dress. You can see their bare arms, legs, it covered the knees, the dress. Um, they're white girls, European type white females, and I'm in a group. We're in a large circle. We're in a large circle, and we were to. I think we might have been swaying. I'm not sure if we were holding hands, but I'm a part of this group. I don't see what I look like, but I'm just with these girls. I'm on one with them. And it could have been maybe 100 girls. We're all in one big circle, looking at one another, looking straight ahead, all of us. But in the middle of the circle something was to appear. And it was a game that was to be played, people. And the game was we were to throw up a white sheet up in the air, and then we'll run underneath the sheet, and this white sheet will fall on top of our body. And that this Jesus character, well, they didn't, there was no talking, but I'm thinking as I'm dreaming this, and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to play this game. And the game was for this man, and I did not see the man's face. It was a Jesus character wearing all white, robe, and he was to walk on top of us. And the honor was to have this Jesus character walk on top of your belly. And he walked on top of mine. And this feeling, I had a chakra awakening. My chakra got awakened, my solar plexus chakra got activated, and it was moving in my belly, and I think I was like praising God and everything, and I woke up with this thing happening. I was ecstatic. I woke up ecstatic. I never had a dream like that. And I was like praising God, praising God and everything. And I called my new Christian friend from church, and it's early in the morning. And she's not really awake. She said, when we get to church, you tell me when you get to church, okay? So I'm all excited. I get to church, and then an incident happened in church. So I'm all excited because of the dream and everything. And then, oh, and I know I had another dream. I don't think it wasn't the same day. I do get confused with the two dreams. There were the two separate dreams I had, but it was an episode that happened when I got to the church. It could have been with the second dream, which was also a spiritual dream. There were hypercolors. The sky was extra blue, the trees were extra green, and I dreamt that I jumped on top of this truck. Like a truck that had like an open back. You could like a flatbed in the truck. It was a red truck, and I jumped in the back of the truck, and then I lied down on my back, and I said as I was climbing on board the truck, I said, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going somewhere. That's what I said. I said, I don't know um, where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. And I was just so ecstatic. I wake up all excited, and I go to the church. Yeah, I go to the church, the same church, and I'm just feeling extra, extra good. And then it happens. We were singing a song. I couldn't care less. To be honest, I couldn't care less what song I was singing. I couldn't care less what I was singing. I'm being real, and I'm holding a hymn book in my hand, and then my body starts shaking. And I said, so I switched hands. I said, what's going on? And I'm just, trying to go with the flow and with the service. And then the feeling got increased in my body. And then my whole body's shaking uncontrollably. And then my solar plexus turns on. And you could feel something turning like in a circle in your solar plexus area. And I started screaming. The pleasure. It was very orgasmic. Okay, I'm not trying to be vulgar, people. I'm not. I'm not. But a feeling of extreme pleasure from my solar plexus exploded in me. And I started to want to scream loud, but I didn't want to, back then, in 1990, I was very shy. Back then, I was, not like how you see right now. I mean, I was more shy. And I sat down and in my chair and just trying to compose myself. Yeah, I had an awakening. Again, I was a Christian back then. But see, in the dream, and these activations can occur. Um, but what if I weren't a Christian? Maybe I would have seen Muhammad or Buddha or, whatever religious person. You know what I'm saying, people? Spirituality is spirituality, okay? No, well, it's what you're programmed to, in my opinion. What are you programmed under? Are you programmed under Muhammad? Is it Jesus? Is it, A, B, C, D? Who is the program? And so my program was the Jesus program. So in this thing I was going through in 1990 as a new Christian, and I lived, I was alone. I lived in a foreign environment, and so this is what happened to me then. So, what's happening, people? So, here, back in 1990, I was a devout Christian, and then I have like a Jesus like a experience dream. I didn't see Jesus's face, but I saw his feet, I saw his body, and I just knew it had to be Jesus. Okay. But like the book I was telling you about with Vera Courtenay talked about um, in her book. Oh yeah, unmasking the something. um, the magicians, and the magicians in her book basically are the Anunnaki. She talks about in detail, and that the scriptures that we read are rehashing, according to her and many other people's beliefs, uh, are the world, the history that we don't know about, the history of humanity from way back. And they're allegedly on the accounts of early stories that were handed down throughout the generations. And that was my paradigm shift. It was very traumatic, this paradigm shift of, because I believed in the Bible. And I had that Jesus awakening in 1990 in my dream, okay? So what's happening now in the world today, you have these people saying that they see Jesus in the cloud. Well, there's another thing called Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam people. And this Bluebeam, um, okay, I'm just closing the screen a little bit. This Project Bluebeam, what is that? Well, Project Bluebeam is an activity that's done with science. And scientists have these equipment that could uh, project holographic images in the sky, and they can make you see a various number of things. Various number of things, people, such as spiritual beings up in space. Hello. And you know what I'm thinking also, people? What I'm really thinking, because these technologies are becoming known out there now. Um, you have these energy weapons, the direct energy weapons, DEW, called DEW. These they're patented, these devices. You could go on the internet and find out about these patented devices that scientists have devised, and what the capabilities are. There are capabilities, some of the capabilities of some of these new technologies, they're not that new, but these technologies that are being found out about or being discussed about can alter the things that you see. It could, because everything is like a Bluetooth. When you of Bluetooth, you could have the Bluetooth in your ear and you could make a phone call, right? You don't have to lift up the handset, right? You have a Bluetooth and you just press a button on it, hello, right? There's no wires attached. It's Bluetooth. It's the same technology. Your brain, the human brain, is one big Bluetooth. It translates information, energy frequencies, whether these energy frequencies are for your eyes to see, your ears to hear, your nose to smell, your hands to touch, and your third eye. Everything. Everything is energy. It's whether you can pick up the signals or not. Are you able to pick up signals? These so-called psychics, they're just, the legitimate ones are just able to pick up the signals. They might have been trained how to do the signals, or maybe through generation, the mothers, the mother's mother, and so on, had this ability, and it's could be passed down from generations. And because maybe you know that your family does it, so you don't think it's odd, so you don't suppress it. Okay, you don't suppress it. It just manifests, and you do something long enough, you get good at it, right? So, but you having people are experiencing these things, and these Jesus things, or these supernatural events in the sky, and with social media being so prominent now, it's at the fingertips of everybody, basically, on the planet. And so people are sharing their stories. And so people have their smartphones with cameras on it, and they're uh, videotaping these events in the sky. And so all of a sudden you have people told Jesus is Jesus, and just like me, okay, I have to disclose, as I said earlier, in 1990 I had these Jesus dream, that the Jesus phenomenal dream. Um, how would someone know what Jesus looks like? There's no drawing of him on the time when he was alive. And in Vera Courtney's book, she talks about where the uh, drawings of Jesus really came from. She talks about this. But so how could we say that the image in the sky, and the image that they're showing in the sky, is it's a cloud, but it's in a silhouette shape type of thing. Like something is draped over something, like someone wearing a bed sheet over them, like a ghost, or its arms are up, and it's Hollywood creates all these imagery too. Hollywood, what is Hollywood? Hollywood is actually a name of a wood, a tree that in history was used to make a wand, a witch's wand of magic. Hollywood is about magic. Hollywood is about making you believe a lie. It is like the Wizard of Oz. Have you seen the movie Wizard of Oz? Those of you who have not seen the Wizard of Oz, please watch the movie The Wizard of Oz. And I know some time ago, I don't know whether it's still on YouTube, but there is a video out on YouTube some years ago that I've seen, that I personally seen, is the interpretation of the movie The Wizard of Oz. And it's quite fascinating. But anyway, the actual movie The Wizard of Oz that came out almost 100 years ago, yeah, I can't believe it's almost 100 years ago, because my mother was born at the time. My mother was a little girl at the time, and she's 96. Okay. So yeah, it's getting up there, that movie. And what is it about? Well, who is the wizard? A wizard is like a witch. Okay, it's a male witch, but he wasn't a real witch. He was someone that was pretending to be the all powerful, and he deceived Dorothy. Dorothy's the little girl in the movie, The Wizard of Oz, and um, in the movie, she was out in it was like a storm that happened. She was outside, and she got hit in the head. And in that event, she had a what she realized, when she woke up, it was a dream, and the dream was very symbolic to her, and it was teaching her about herself, um, about who she was and everything. And the people in the dream were people in her real life, but they were in different costumes, and well, the wizard, the guy in the movie that was trying to be the all powerful, he was a man that was behind this curtain and had this equipment to make his voice sound ominous. And he was giving Dorothy, the girl in the movie, a hard time and having her do this and that. And all along, the girl had the power to get back home, but he's making it difficult for her, that she has to do this, that, and other things. And then Dorothy also had a little doggy, yeah. And the little dog at the end of the movie saw the curtain, and he pulled the curtain open, And lo and behold, you see an elderly man pretending to be the all powerful. Yeah. And I think in modern days that you have these wizards out there who want to be the all powerful, and they're doing things behind the scenes. Some of these people, some things might be legit. And so you have these technologies, and they're able to project in the sky these things that look, like Jesus. Again, how did we know what Jesus looked like? So soon when you see that, the Jesus character, that is man-made. That is man-made. Jesus was not a European. I'll say it again. Jesus was not a white man. He wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. No. You talk about the Middle East, honey. You talk about the Middle East. And 2,000 years ago, what did people look like at that location 2,000 years ago? But you notice now in that part of the world, what invaded that part of the world about 70 plus years ago? Hello? Who invaded that location about 70 plus years ago? They came from Eastern Europe. So now the so-called Jesus that you see are people who kind of look like people from Eastern Europe. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. So that's how I know when I'm seeing these videos now on these people saying they see Jesus in the sky and the drapes and everything. Why is this guy Jesus? Why is he just standing up there? It's like a giant, giant cloud Jesus up there, just staring, just looking at humanity. Shouldn't this Jesus bring his ass down there, but down here and help us? You have people who are rioting, who are killing, people shooting each other, the weather out of whack in Texas. Well, what else? What else? You have the wars happening. You have the immigration thing. People are killing. What? Come on. If this person, I'm not trying to be vulgar, I'm just trying to use common sense. If this person has all power, all knowing, and sees what's going on, he's just going to stand up there in that cloud and say, hello, and then not do anything? Come on, people. Let's say it was your boyfriend up there. Let's say you have this rich boyfriend or something, and he's watching over you. And you're in distress, you're being attacked, and your boyfriend say, hi, what will you do? What would you do? Would you say, hey, come down and help? What do you do acting foolish like that? Come down here and help me. Wouldn't you people? We have to start thinking, start using logic. That's how I realize there's something up in this. There's something up. See, it's like I feel like there's a grid over the planet. There's a grid. And again, the brain is like a Bluetooth, right? It's like a Bluetooth. You can pick up signals. And if you're on the frequency, if your mind is focused on Jesus, back then in 1990, I was away from everybody I knew. I was living in a different location. I had just got out of the military. I'm by myself. I'm going to church for fellowshipping. And, I guess I was feeling vulnerable in this Jesus mode, unconsciously thinking. And I think because I'm I'm on a frequency. Think of it like a radio, people. Let's say you want to listen to country music. You think about country, you tap onto country music. Let's say you want R&B music. You tap onto R&B music. Let's say you want talk radio. Hey, you got talk radio. Whatever what you focus on is what you're able to pick up. I think that's what might be happening. It's already out there. Also, maybe like people have like what they call implants. Yeah, I think some people could have implants. Um, like this one YouTuber who passed away, oh, her name, I give the name of the channel, Black Sunrise. Yeah, many of you, many of us, people out there, they knew about her. Her channel name was Black Sunrise, and she talked many times about allegedly being implanted with these devices in her head, in her pelvic area, and that they can zap you. And I believe that. I believe things like that happen. I've heard of other people talk about such phenomenon. Um, uh, their weapons in warfare. The DEW. Um, they're able to project it. Like in the middle, they used it in the Middle East, and they said like it bypasses your eardrum and goes directly your hearing center, and the message said, drop your weapons. This is Allah telling you to drop your weapons. Remember, hearing about that? Yeah, that has happened, and they dropped the weapons. Yeah, you have people who have these technologies, and they're utilizing it to manipulate. They also could make you see, could go into your vision. Everything's electronic. We are biological um, electronics. Yeah, we're biological electronic machinery. And they can make you hear things, see things, feel things. And I think some of these scientists, they study families over time. And I talked about that 2 years ago. I meet a lot of people. Uh, don't you ever wonder about like people from California? I mean, really, Hollywood is in California, and a lot of the so-called weirdos um, seem to be coming out from California, or people. A lot of druggies are in California. I mean, they're all over, but in particular, they seem to be out west, and they go to Hawaii. I used to live in Hawaii also. Yeah, they flock over to Hawaii, and they all say the same thing, that they come to heal. Yeah, a lot of. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of them when I say this, but it's just so common. It's just so common, and that's where I'm coming from. That it's like happens so often. But so I don't mean to make it seem flippant, or very callous. I'm not trying to. And I apologize to anybody who thinks I'm trying to mock them. But I've met people from California, and they seem to have the same thing, like this one person, a lady. And I mean, this is before I knew the term conspiracy theory. And she was targeted, I think. The things that she would say. It started for her when she was 5 years old, and she was on a school bus, and she said that she heard people talking, but their mouths weren't moving, but she could hear what they're saying. So she goes to her mom and tells her mom what happened, and the mother says, "Yeah, when I was 5 years old, it happened to me also." So that's telling me that it's something generational, um, and from daughter to mom. Um, it's very fishy. Why that? Why at a specific age? See, they want you to think it's something biological, like a biological clock. I don't think so. I think like the scientists are using the same experiment on that next generation, because they know the human brain at certain levels of mental development, that certain things are programmed by a certain age. And by the age of 6 years old, that initial wiring is set. Okay. And so I think they try to do it at a certain time to program the mind. And she was seeing weird things. Um, she has shared with me she saw this the Jolly Green Giant. She shared with me that one day she woke up and she was in the middle of a circle of people, like doing a séance with her. She was in like the in the middle of the séance or whatever what you call it, from California. Yeah, and that's where Hollywood is. Hollywood is in California, and they just seem to be plagued with problems. But, Hollywood is about magic. It's about casting spells on people, making you think certain ways so they can control you. That is what I honestly believe. And you have a lot of those Nazis that came to America. See, people always forget about these things. Like it's just something that happened way back. But they're here. Why did they come to America? To continue the experiments. These horrible people from wartime, World War II, came to America and they continued doing experiments. And you are the guinea pig. Yes. And I think that's what happened to her. Yeah. It's like all these people with all these symptoms, but it always seems to be kind of like the same type of thing. And this other person shared with me in New York. They lived near the UN in New York City, and it was an elderly white guy, and he got spooked to death. And someone came to he lived in a apartment, and two people that knew her, something came to investigate, and they both had the same experience. But they pretended nothing happened until they left. They couldn't believe what happened. They both saw a so-called paranormal. It was the government. The person said it was government or something like that. I don't know what government, but somebody, they have uh, equipment and they can target people. And they scared the old man to death to make it think that there was some boogeyman. Yeah. You have people who do these things to people, who try to scare people to death, and people who are targeted from generation to generation. And I think they have the technology for families to experience certain things, or, manipulating the sky like Project Bluebeam. And so all the world would say they want to make the Bible come alive. The so-called prophecy. I don't think it's prophecy. It is a blueprint, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is a blueprint of what they want to happen, because life happens and life is cyclic. Life is cyclic, and they keep repeating the same story. You're also hearing people, I've seen videos of people telling me about these videos. I forget the term that they use, but like these these cities that are buried under the earth, or like that, like there was this what do you call it? World's Fair. I think it was Chicago, and it took a short time to build, but these mansions, and then they tore it down, and these look like permanent structures, and where did like there were things like these advanced buildings right next to like a shack or something like that. It's, I forget the term, but they believe that it was a reset, that the world got in a reset, and that they have these technologies. Something happened, but but they existed. And I'm wondering whether this is true. I'm starting to think that, you know, that things are happening in cycles, and they want to push a narrative, and they for whatever reason. And I think now they're pushing in to make the Bible happen, to make so-called prophecy happen. It's not prophecy, it's a blueprint of instruction. It is a war book. It is a war manual, and it tells the generals of the planet what to do and when to do certain things. That's what I believe. That's what I'm starting to believe very strongly. And it's a reset. You know what else I heard? See, everything is related to something else. Yeah, I saw a video on China. I've never been to China, and it's a new YouTuber that I found maybe 3 days ago, who also is from China, and she shared that like many of us have heard that there's about 1.4 billion with a B billion people in China. Well, this person says that no, that she believes that the number now might be 400 million, just a little larger than the US. She had seen evidence that the numbers may have dropped. And what this evidence might be seemed to suggest like there are a lot of empty cities. And I've seen that in videos, like these massive buildings, whole urban centers that are vacant. What happened to the people? And then you have what was that? You have people who live in urban centers, and then they walk and they wonder what happened to everybody. You have people have relatives. So she was saying that, like, you have people who live in rural areas, the countryside, and then people live in the urban. So the people in the urban thought that that people had moved back to relatives in the countryside, and then the people in the countryside thought they were leaving to go into the city, but they're missing. You have millions of people in China allegedly are missing, and it's no or 1.4 billion people. Wow. Yeah, you have people who are going around in China. I thought China had all those people. Maybe, it, you know, I forget the reason why I was mentioning this now with China. But I guess um, that ethnic cleansing, people are becoming missing. Where are they going? Are they dying? She did also mention that you had uh, 89 more funeral homes. That like initially it was like 40 something funeral homes, and then you had it jumped to 80 something, about 89 extra funeral homes. Why would you need a funeral home? Well, they have to process the bodies. That's what was suggested. So isn't that something, people? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Yeah. So are people, yeah, are people dying, or are people being kidnapped by, a rapture, a type of rapture maybe? The Bible does talk about a rapture. Uh, are people being, oh, I did mention that about the UFOs. Also, there are accounts about UFOs, and that it's being discussed now in Congress in America. And you have people um, in high places who are, whistleblowers. You have whistleblowers coming out and sharing their experiences regarding the UFO phenomena. Now they call them uh, unidentified, you, oh, aerial phenomena, unidentified aerial phenomenon. And some of them are going to third worlds, like in South America, and they're allegedly pretending to be aliens from other planet, whatever. And they have these devices that could, like, you stand on. It sounds very, very problematic, people. I know it sounds like make believe, but these accounts are coming out, and Congress in America is talking about these events with these so-called UFO UAPs, and they it has been said that like these technologies, like if when there is a crash, a UFO crash, they use reverse technology to replicate these um, crafts, and if it gets in the wrong hands. If it gets into the wrong hand, and it seems like some of these technologies are being used in these third world places in Latin America, and they're kidnapping people, that they're taking young girls and oh, it sounds gruesome. It's a sick, either it's a sick joke or these things are really happening. They're allegedly skinning these girls alive. I forget the term of these creatures, but allegedly they're on this device like a disc, and that they stand on. They chase these girls, and they have their way with these young girls that are terrorized. And these are these little remote Indian villages. And so it seems like technologies are being used. Uh, what's happening now? What has been discussed for the past few years? Human migration. Human migration. Human migration is a big thing, and it's a lot of money in human migration. And if you could acquire people to do who knows what, I don't know what you need these people for, but you have people who want people who are selling people. It sounds crazy. It's a sickness. But you have these Nazis, these people from wartime, and they haven't stopped their mischief. It seems it's horrible. It is horrible. And so, what are they going to try to do? We need to say, right? We need a savior. We need a savior now. They're terrorizing people. They're using these weapons against the public. And then now, what you need is a savior figure. And so they're prepping people all over the world. And the video that I saw um, had featured something that was all the way in the Philippines. These Jesus in the sky, a cloud. It's like a cloud, but the cloud is in a silhouette like a so-called Jesus character. You don't see any but you see like an outline, and it's obvious what it's to look like. Why is this Jesus just standing and looking at people? Why is he wearing what do you call it, like what do you wear? Like a robe? He hasn't worn something different in 2,000 years. This Jesus walking around with the same clothes from 2,000 years ago. But he's supposed to be preparing a place for us, right? Doesn't the Bible say that Jesus is preparing a place for us? So he's a carpenter, right? Or an engineer. This Jesus is an engineer, but he's walking around with a robe on. I don't know. I don't know. People, we got to start using our common sense. You can have whatever faith you want, more power to you, but your faith has to serve you. Does it serve you? Or you're serving it and you become its slave? Why do you need to be a slave? Why? Why is this Jesus character wants this worship like some politicians in the world that want to be worshiped? Why should we worship any of these people? What are you doing to even deserve to be worshiped? You ask yourself these questions. You ask this. Yeah, they want you to feel small and they feel big. And you're feeling that way for a reason. They want you to have, this is allegedly this a God gene in all of us that we want to worship. We're programmed to do so. Why don't we start to love ourselves? Learn to worship yourself in a positive way, meaning that you do good to yourself. You eat the right food, you get your exercise. Treat people good. When you treat people good, they'll treat you they'll treat you good, right? Usually. Yeah. Start treating other people good and create the world that you want to see. Be the person you want to see. I think that's a powerful statement. Powerful, powerful statement. Yet this manipulation going on, it seems. You having people being scared in their room. You know what someone told? Oh, almost remembered. Yeah, you having people being scared in their room. And I've heard of people being what they call abductions. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, people. Someone that I know shared their experience and this thing about creatures or beings coming through your wall. Yeah, a person. And it fits other stories that I heard over the internet. This is someone that I know. And they went to a hotel chain, a large hotel chain. And they were minding their own business. They were lying down in bed. They had, I think, a suite. And there was a door, but it was locked. And they had a table in front of the door. And when this person took a nap, and then they hear noise, so they open their eyes. Well, a man comes through the wall. He's wearing a shirt and khaki pants and shoes, sees this person in the room, and had a device in their hand, and then they disappear. Yeah, I kid you not. I kid you not. And my mouth dropped when they told me this happening. Now I've heard of things like you heard people claiming that they're sleeping and something came through the wall, like a boogeyman or whatever. Well, people, scientists have access to these engineered goods. They could, oh, excuse me, they can make you, they can transport you. They can go from one space, how it does it, I don't know, but they can leave one space to another. So I don't know, are they actually translocating or they get invisible and you don't see them leave, but they could, somehow leave? Something is going on. And the person looked like a government person, I was told. And it looked as though according to the person telling me this, that this person had probably done this many, many times, and they know the routine, and they know basically people's not going to believe their own eyes, but they came through the wall and they disappeared in thin air. Yeah, I could believe that happening. If you could, I mean, they have all these technologies, and they've acquired it. And if these technologies go in the wrong hands, and if you're a Nazi and want to continue with these experiments on people, they're gonna still exist, and you got to protect yourself. Protect yourself, people. Protect yourself, and question what you do see. Question it. What are these things that you see? Why do they want you to see what they see? Why is Jesus required for people to just look at him and do not absolutely nothing for you? There's a reason. And they want to change your paradigm. They want you to trust in someone that you've never met. And energy flows where your attention goes. So if your energy is going to a particular location, it's gonna, it's gonna build. It's gonna build in your life. Build goodness in your life. Trust yourself, love yourself, pamper yourself. Times are becoming more challenging, and you need all that you can get. Yes, be very, very careful about everything. People's paradigm system is shifting greatly. People need to get grounded. People need to know what is real and what is fake. So in your spirit journey, ask yourself these questions. Who are these people who claim that they see Jesus? Ask them. Ask them why they believe what they believe. So that's all that I want to share today. I know I mentioned a lot of things. Life happens, people. And life is bigger than you could imagine. And life, the veil is getting thinner. And those of you who have the ability to meditate, start meditating. And you're going to start seeing things. You're going to start having visions too. Yeah, be careful. Be careful out there. And yes, let me know about your experiences. Have you experienced these UFOs, these abductions, these targeting? Yeah, you can write your experiences below. Yes, we're not here to judge anybody, but to give people the verbal support that they might be seeking. Peace and love to you all. Let's be safe. Pray for me, I pray for you. Thank you again for everything. Yes, life is very fragile, life is very short, and may life smile upon you and protect you and love you. Peace, love, joy, harmony as well. Until next time soon, have a marvelous day. Have a marvelous Sunday. Bye bye.